Dog days of summer are here. What to do with your summer wardrobe? Today we're going to talk about how to put together a functional summer tailored clothing wardrobe. Welcome to Ask Oki. I am your host, Prof, or the Professor, or the King of Drape, as I have been known lately. So with that, let's get right into it. We have to my left here a capsule wardrobe which I've curated, as I always disclaim, not exhaustive. It's not my entire wardrobe, but it's a limited capsule that I have put together for the purposes of illustration and to aid us through this exercise. We're going to be breaking this presentation into two parts. In the first part, we're going to be going through all the items to my left individually. We're going to spend a little bit of time, 30 seconds to a minute, talking about each garment. And in the second segment of this presentation, we're going to look at pairings. And the idea behind the pairings, again, is to achieve or to attain optimum utility from each of these jackets on here. I did mention in a prior video, which we titled A Winning Combination, that jackets or sport jackets tend to be the more expensive of the pairing. And so the idea is to optimize your sport jacket wardrobe when building one. You want to make it very versatile, particularly when you're starting out. Now, when you have an expansive wardrobe, you can afford to do whatever you want to do. However, for beginners or for those starting out the bespoke journey, or just putting together a sport coat wardrobe, be it bespoke, ready to wear, or MTM, you want to optimize your wardrobe. So you want to start with foundational items. You want to start with jackets that are going to pair well with the most number of trousers. So let's get right into it. To my left here at the top of the rack is your traditional navy blazer. Again, it's a simple high twist mock lino, unlined. These are all summer jackets, and you'll find out they're all unlined because, of course, they are summer jackets. It is unlined, very soft construction, soft canvas, linen canvas. A very simple garment. This is your Swiss Army knife, a blazer with brass buttons. Goes with literally anything and everything for the summer. Can dress it up, can dress it down. That's your navy blazer. The next is going to be a summer counterpart, another navy blazer. Well, this is more of a royal blue, another blue blazer, similar construction, unlined, very soft construction, very soft canvas. It feels almost like a throw or like a sweater. Feels very soft. There is little to no structure to it, which is the essence of a summer jacket. It should feel very comfortable, airy. You can see the cloth is very porous. Again, high twist, mock lino, a variation of your fresco, and just very simple. Again, brass buttons, which peg it down as a blazer and not a regular sport coat. The third is going to be a proper sport coat in wool. It's a beautiful, very light wool, about 8 ounces. This is by Lesser, the tropical wool bunch. Again, it's unlined, very soft construction, similar to all the summer jackets. It's a dark blue with very small black checks. And so this is something you might wear at night to a dinner event or just for an elegant outing in the evening with a pair of light gabardine trousers or something of that nature. The fourth is going to be a little bit more colorful, shall we say. This is another favorite of mine. It's another cloth by Lesser, or the cloth is by Lesser. It's about 8 ounce from the same book. Tropical wool, very light and comfortable. Beautiful cloth, doesn't crease, creases fall off very nicely. Again, very softly constructed, unlined. Now we go slightly heavier. This is about 11 ounces. This is Porter and Harding's Glorious 12th. It's about 11, 12 ounces, so slightly heavier than the Lessers, but it's still something that can be worn in the summer, especially unless you're in the summer in a place like Dubai or very tropical climates. But in the Western Hemisphere, for the most part, this is a coat you can wear through the summer. Again, it's been made as an unlined coat, unlined jacket, very soft construction. The cloth is a little bit more sturdy because, in essence, this is what you would call a faux tweed. It's a tweed replica. So this is a gun club. As many would know, gun clubs would typically come in tweed or something similar. However, there are those who like the pattern, but in the summer, of course, you can't wear tweed. So this is something that you could wear in the summer or spring or warmer months if you want that gun club tweed look, but don't want to be burdened with the weight and the discomfort of tweed in the summer. Similarly, here's another cloth from Porter and Harding from the same bunch. Again, it's a faux tweed, this time done in a plaid with light blue overchecks. Just beautiful stuff. Again, about 11, 12 ounces. So not as light as the Lessers that we looked at earlier, but light enough to be worn in the summer months if you're in the Western Hemisphere. Again, let's have a closer look at this. Just beautiful, soft construction. Unlined, very comfortable. Beautiful roll to the lapel. Beautiful cloth, it falls off very easily, doesn't wrinkle. Again, some of the details here, if you would pardon me for a second, just going into the details, you can see the intricate stitching on the collar. This is all, of course, entirely hand done, entirely hand done. The collar has been attached by hand. You can see the stitches running all across from the left side of the collarbone to the right side of the collarbone. Lapel similarly, hand stitched. You can see the indents. This is all hand padded. The lapel is entirely hand padded. So, of course, is the chest piece and the canvas. A little bit of tailoring detail there. This is not a tailoring segment. However, I thought I'd just throw that in for effect. The last is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hopsack. I love this fabric. I love this jacket. The color is just beautiful, but it is just such a light, very light jacket, but elegant in a beautiful sort of golden brown that just pairs excellently with practically everything. Again, here you have is entirely unlined, very soft construction. The chest piece and the canvas, very soft. It's fully canvassed, of course. But the fabric is just lovely. You can literally see through it. It's a hopsack. So it breathes really well in the summer months. It breathes very well. This is one of my favorites, and it pairs with literally any pair of trousers you throw at it. It is the equivalent, in my view, of the navy blazer in the Brown family. This thing takes just about everything for the summer. So that's it for the jackets. We move on to the trousers. Now, the trousers are broken into three groups. When you talk about summer, you're going to be limited somewhat to certain types of fabrics. The first is going to be your linens, Irish linen, of course. I don't deal with anything lower than 13 ounces in linen. I like to stick with 13 to 15 ounce. I find that to be the sweet spot. So this is going to be, the first group is going to be Irish linen. The second group are going to be gabardines, about 10 ounces. Gabardine, of course, is a wool, but it's a wool that holds its shape and drapes incredibly well for that weight. And so that's why we've used gabardine to make our dressy wool trousers and not sort of a conventional tropical wool. The last group is going to be your frescoes. Wow, everybody knows frescoes. They're height waist open weaves that are very, very functional in the summertime. A lot of folks make entire suits out of them, but they're also beautiful for summer trousers. So the last group here is going to be a pair of, or a couple of pair of fresco trousers, and that's it. So that's three groups. Now, mind you, this presentation is mostly for dressy outfits, and so of course you have your cottons and other things you might wear in the summer, but those are more for casual clothing. So we've limited this capsule to what I would consider more dressy jackets and trousers. So let's have a look quickly at what we have here in the trouser section. So here we have a beautiful brown linen, made of course in our traditional Askoke cut. This is Irish linen, about 12 ounces by Dugdale Brothers. I believe it's from the Lisburn Linen Bunch. Just beautiful stuff. It breathes very well, just the perfect thing for the summer. This is sort of, I would call it sort of a sand brown, not quite a dark chocolate brown. It's lightened quite a bit since it was made, so the cloth tends to lighten a little bit over time, especially after you've had it pressed a few times or steamed a few times. The second is just this beautiful color. I guess I would call it more like a moss green, but it's just such a unique color and it really caught my eye. It's not something that pairs very readily with everything, but it's just such a unique color that it pops. And so if you're going to wear a quiet jacket, for instance, this is something that really adds a little bit of oomph to the outfit. Again, let's have a closer look here. Made in our traditional Askoke cut, of course. Just a beautiful moss green Irish linen by Dugdale Brothers. I believe it's from their Lisburn Linen collection or bunch. That's the second one. The third is going to be your snow white linen, just pure, clean white linen. This is something that comes in very handy, of course, especially at night. In the summer, when you have to go out at night, white is always sort of one of my favorites to wear at night with a navy blazer or dark blazer or anything at all. Really pairs with any of these summer blazers, or just worn casually with a light casual linen shirt over it. So that's your white. The next is going to be a sand-colored linen. Beautiful sand-colored linen. Again, a very versatile color, an earth tone, of course, that goes literally with everything and anything. There you have it. It's a sand linen, just a beautiful sand linen in the same weight, about 12, 13 ounces, Irish linen. Now we move to the gabardines. Put this here. Now, this is the sine qua non, as they would say. It's a cream off-white pair of trousers made in gabardine, classic. This is just as classic as they get. In the summer, you can't go without something. It is just so universal. You can dress it up, you could dress it down, you could wear it with a navy blazer, you could wear it with any of these, you know, blazers we have or sport coats we have on here. But it is one that I get a lot of use out of. In fact, we shot a video here a few days ago where I had this on with one of these summer sport coats, but and a pair of loafers. But it's just such a very versatile color and a staple in any summer wardrobe. So there you have it, your cream or off-white gabardine in about 10 ounces or thereabout. The next is also a gabardine in olive. Olive, again, is a beautiful color, just a beautiful earth tone that pairs very well with literally anything. It is also one of your Swiss Army knives in your trouser collection. Almost sort of as good as gray when it comes to pairing summer clothes. So there you have it. That's your olive gabardine, Askoki trousers, just beautiful stuff. This is, I believe, from Dugdale Brothers as well, from the Royal Rose collection, I believe, if I remember correctly. About 10-ounce gabardine, completely hand-stitched, of course, by us here at Askoki. The third gabardine is going to be an interesting one. It's a wine or burgundy. And I picked this cloth because I wanted something to wear at night, besides something very dark. I wanted sort of a darker, rich color to wear at night. And I just found that this is something that goes really well with, it goes well with a navy jacket, with a dark jacket, or even a lighter jacket if you wanted to wear a cream, say a cream linen double-breasted jacket, which is just sort of the thing for the summer. You could throw that above this and it just works. So this is a color that many don't wear. I find that many don't, I don't see a lot of burgundy wool trousers, but there's just such a beautiful and useful color to have in your summer wardrobe in this weight. Of course, this is about 10 ounces, so this is definitely a summer cloth. Now we move to our frescoes, everyone's favorite. Well, this is your Swiss Army knife, your mid-grade fresco. Everyone has a pair by now. All my customers, or all our customers, certainly have a pair. This is just the thing for the summer. It's a beautiful 13-ounce fresco by Dugdale, I believe, supplies us this particular fresco. It's got sort of small shark skin patterns to it, but they're barely visible. From afar, it just looks like a solid gray, but on closer inspection, you can see sort of the small shark skin weaves. But that's it. It doesn't get more basic or standard than this. This is your standard Swiss Army knife and the equivalent of your dark navy blue blazer. So that's it, your medium gray fresco. Now, we come to the last, certainly not the least. This is one of my favorites. One of my favorites. It's a Dove gray fresco. Just beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. It's a beautiful Dove gray fresco. From the same bunch, of course. That's about 13 ounces, about 13 ounce, 12, 13 ounce fresco, high twist. I love this color, and this is why. Let me explain why I love this color. It's just, it's a gray, so it goes with literally everything, but it's just a touch more sophisticated. It's just a touch more sophisticated than your medium gray. Your medium gray can often come across as office pants, as they would say. Everyone has a pair. But Dove gray is just a very sophisticated color. And you would notice that very often only sophisticated dressers wear Dove gray and know how to wear them. But they're so versatile. You could wear them with lighter jackets because it's so light. You could wear it with a lighter jacket or sort of a medium hued jacket. This is also something you could play around with. I wear this sometimes with a pair of correspondent shoes or spectators, as some would call them. And this work really well with spectators because the contrast between the trouser and the shoes are minimal. And so the shoes don't come off as extremely jarring when you pair them, or the spectators that is, don't come off as extremely jarring or shocking when you pair them with this pair of Dove Gray Fresco trousers. But I love them and I get a lot of use out of them. I possibly get a lot more use out of this than I do from the medium gray, more conventional Fresco. So that's it. Unless you're really a conservative dresser, I would say that the light gray you would get a lot more fun and use out of than the medium gray when it comes to your summer Fresco trousers, if you're hell-bent on Fresco, that is, for your summer trousers. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We've gone through each of these items, not in exhaustive detail, but just sort of very high-level overview. Talked about the cloth, talked about the construction, and so on and so forth. So in the next part of this presentation, we're going to go through a very simple exercise. Simple, but with Prof, of course, nothing is quite simple. It gets complicated in a hurry. We're going to go through each of these jackets, and we're going to try to pair them and find out what the optimal pairings are for each of these jackets. We're going to use the jackets as the anchor primarily, and we're going to pair them with each of these trousers and sort of use our imagination to see what works. So thank you, and we'll be right back in a moment. Now we're going to start from the far right and work our way all the way up to the top, to the left, to the navy blazer. A beautiful light brown hopsack jacket. Now we're going to see how this pairs with any number of these trousers. We'll start from the top. This is a stonewashed brown linen, Irish linen. This is just such a beautiful pairing. Now, you might ask, or you might suggest that there is not enough contrast between these two, and I would agree. However, there are those very sophisticated dressers who understand the idea of soft contrast. So this contrasts very softly, and I think it works. I would wear this with a light blue shirt, a sky blue shirt, linen shirt, and this would just come off perfectly. So we're going to put this down here as one of the wings for the hopsack jacket. This also, I think, is an interesting combination. A little bit off, but again, with a white linen shirt or light blue linen shirt, I could see this working. So that's two. White, of course, goes with everything in the summer. So this is, again, just a beautiful pairing. Just a beautiful pairing. If we come here, have a look. It's a beautiful pairing. White linen with sort of a light brown hopsack. We'll put this here. This, again, is a sand. Very close to white, but less contrast than the white. Again, this works beautifully. So we can see that the tan jacket really takes everything well. We go to the gabardines. Again, similarly, the off-white, perfect. Slightly softer than white from a contrast standpoint, but it just works. Beautiful. Olive, well, it could, but I probably would wince a little bit because it comes off as a bit dull. These olive trousers need a stronger colored jacket in my opinion. Need something a bit firmer, a bit stronger. So I'm going to put this back here. Burgundy, this could work. A bit unconventional, but it could work. Fresco, of course, this goes with anything you throw at it. This is your Swiss Army knife, as I mentioned earlier. This is your Swiss Army knife for summer trousers. It works, of course. A bit more somber, a bit more, well, not somber, but a bit more conservative than these other colors. But this is something you could pair very easily. Now, this is a classic combination, just beautiful, beautiful combination. I love this combination. It is something I saw in an Esquire art rendering some years ago. For those of you who follow classic images, there was a gentleman wearing just a similar combination. And that's not quite where I got this idea from, but each time I put these two together, that image or that particular photo comes to mind. I believe it was one of the images or one of the renderings by Lawrence Fellows, for those of you who study classic images. So there you have it for the Hopsack. Definitely a winner, the brown Hopsack. Now, here is an interesting one. The Glen Plaid jacket, sort of a rust color, has a rust background with these light blue window panes or overchecks over it. Now let's see. I would definitely do this because there's enough contrast here. This, of course, goes well. I've worn these in one of my videos in the past, and that particular video received a lot of should I say, critical acclaim from the audience. So it's certainly a winning combination. This is beautiful. This is an interesting combination, and this is where the burgundy trouser shines. It's not a very common color, but something like this is just beautiful with a light blue shirt, which picks up the blue overchecks. Yeah, you can see. Bring it to this camera. Just a beautiful combination. I mean, even goes with the lining, not that it matters, not that anyone sees the lining, but for whatever it's worth, if it makes you feel better, it just goes well with the lining as well. But it's just such a beautiful, elegant combination. Some of these combinations I haven't actually worn. So this exercise actually is really good because it sort of gives me ideas on sort of how to wear my own summer clothing. Now, this could be done, but it's something that I just don't think I would do at the top of my head. Off-white with this. It works, but it just doesn't sort of sing to me. It doesn't sing to me. So I'm going to put this down here. This works. It's sort of a linen. The linen sand works with this as well. Sufficient contrast. And a different sort of texture to the fabric. So this goes here. White, I'm not so sure. I think white is a bit too casual for the cloth. This is sort of more of a country rustic cloth. So a white linen I wouldn't do with this. This, no, I don't think so. It just doesn't sing to me. The sand brown, no, it doesn't do it for me. So here again, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pair of trousers that work with this jacket. So that is, this is in the lead with all the trousers, 8 trousers minus that one. Oh, this, the olive. I could see this. They're both sort of rustic country colors. I could definitely see this with a pair of burgundy loafers. and a light blue open neck linen shirt. So there you have it. I'll put this back here. And the Gun Club. Beautiful Gun Club jacket. Now, what I would avoid also would be, I don't like pairing wools with linen. It's just sort of my thing in the summer. And so with these woolens, we've looked at these 3 woolens. This hopsack, just because of the rough texture, probably could handle the linens, but the smoother wools, I would probably limit them to the hopsacks, to the gabardine trousers, and the frescoes. So right off the bat, I just don't think that the linen trousers work for this particular jacket. Not only because of the difference in texture, but also the philosophy or the idea of a gun club is that it's a country color, it's a tweed. So sort of a tweed and linen, they just don't marry for me. They just don't marry. So this has to go with a worsted fabric or a gabardine or a fresco, something a bit more dressy. So let's see with the off-white gabardine, this could work, but again, it's not something I would do. It just seems, this seems too, shall I say, evening-y. This is more of a daytime, colorful daytime wear. This I wouldn't think of this as a first combination. The linens we've already discounted, so we'll put this over here. This I could see, definitely. It's a beautiful gabardine pair of trousers, of course, in burgundy, and it picks up some of the burgundy in the jacket. So this definitely I would do with a light blue shirt. So I'll put this here as a win for this. Gray, of course, it takes everything. So that's your Swiss Army knife, that works. The Dove Gray, it could work. It could work, but I think it might be too light for this jacket. It might be too light for this jacket. So I'm not gonna put it here. I'm gonna put it here as a non-win. So we're left with basically 2 trousers here that work with the Gun Club jacket. This definitely I could see because they're both country colors, the olive green and the Gun Club. So this really works very well in my view. So you have essentially 3 pair here. So what we've seen is that as we've gone from right to left, this was the most versatile. This was sort of less versatile than this, and this is even less versatile than this when it comes to pairing them with, or pairing the jacket with summer trousers. So here we go. Now the next one I'm going to suspect is going to be even less versatile, and I'll explain. This is a baby blue. It's a beautiful baby blue cloth, beautiful on its own, with dark blue navy window checks, but it's an anchor item. What I mean by an anchor item, it's something that sort of, it speaks out very loudly and everything around it should be subdued. And so something like this, to me, would have very limited utility in terms of pairing. I would do it definitely with a gray fresco. This works. But I think an even better pairing would be this Dove Gray. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful combination. So this and this would definitely work. The frescoes, I wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't touch it with the burgundy. I wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't even touch it with maybe, if you're a dandy dresser, if you're really a dandy dresser, this could work. I could see this working. But you need to be sort of, I mean, it takes quite a bit of confidence to pair these because these are 2 pieces that are equally highly expressive. So I would put this here as a possible. So we have 3 pair of trousers here that could work with this. Again, the linens, I'm not so sure. I wouldn't pair the linens with with tropical wool for the summer, just because they have different textures, and in my view, they speak different languages. So I'd limit this to just sort of these worsteds we have here, the gabardine and the two frescoes. So that's just 3 pair. Again, very much more limited in its versatility than the prior 2 or 3. Now, this is an interesting one. This is your equivalent of a navy blazer, just a dark navy sport coat. Of course, this could work, but for me, the contrast is just too sharp. It's just too sharp. I just wouldn't do it for me. The linens, of course, I wouldn't wear with these for reasons I mentioned earlier. This, no, I don't see it. Some would do this, but no, I don't see it. I just don't see it working. This, yes, could work, but again, the contrast to me is just too sharp. The jacket is too dark. So which leaves us with essentially this, which is your standard navy blue with medium gray, which is universally accepted. A closer look. So this works, definitely. Beautiful. Classic. This is as classic as it gets. This also could work. I could see this working, but again, it takes sort of, I suppose, a very trained dresser to know how to pull this off. It wouldn't be my first choice, but it could work. So again, we see that with this jacket, though it appears to be a wardrobe staple, sort of a navy or dark navy jacket, but in terms of the trousers we put out here, I think that the only thing that really catches me is sort of your medium gray, which again is a very standard pairing. Okay, we'll put this down and we move on to the blazers. Now, your royal blue blazer, I had this on in a video, I think some time ago in one of our earlier segments, earlier this month, and I remember pairing it with the cream gabardine trousers, but this is just a lovely combination, just a beautiful combination. Your dove gray fresco and the mock leno. And why do I think this is beautiful? Because this is a high twist and this is a high twist. So in terms of texture, they're both in the same family. They just sort of marry well from a textural standpoint. Is that a right word? Textural standpoint. And also from a color standpoint, they work really well. This would be the equivalent of your navy blue blazer, which we'll look at, the last one, and your mid-gray trousers. So if I put this combination together, I'll just sort of, for illustrative purposes, pull this up. And I'll put this here. And I'd say these two would be sort of the best combinations for me for the blazers. Just perfect. If you had, let's say, 2 blazers or 2 sport coats for the summer, and you had this royal blue and a navy blue and these 2 pair of fresco trousers, I think you're in good shape. You could do a lot with these 2. Accessorize with different shirts, with large block stripe shirts, thin pinstripes, floral, what have you, linen, cotton, what have you. But these, to me, the winning combinations for the blazers. You could do a bit more with the blazers. I'm going to put this down here. Hang this up. I'll put this down here. You could do a bit more with the blazers. Let's continue with this. The only other thing that really seems interesting to me here, besides the dove gray fresco, would be the gabardine. will be the cream gabardine. This is just such a beautiful, just a beautiful classic combination. Just look at that. It's a beautiful, beautiful classic combination. A fantastic combination, just as classic as they get. This is a summer color, this is a summer color, so they basically speak the same language. And they're both sort of in the wool family. So it's a sort of a very nice, dressy combination. The linens, definitely, I would hesitate to wear with this. In a pinch, of course, I would, but it wouldn't be my first choice. So again, here, we're looking at the gabardine here and the light gray fresco as the winning combos for this jacket. Just, you can't go wrong with either of these. Just beautiful. Just a beautiful combination. So that's it. So essentially 2 pair for the royal blue blazer. We've identified 2 pair of trousers here. Now for the last and the king of the hill, so to speak, the ubiquitous and the storied navy blazer, which every man is told should be their first jacket in any texture, in different textures. So for the summer, of course, we're speaking strictly about summer fabrics. So this is a high twist, a mock leno. In the winter, of course, you could do your navies in cashmere. You could do it in sort of in worsted wool. You could do it in serge. There's so many different fabrics in the winter that allow you to, that take a navy blazer. But here we are speaking about summer dress. So this is a mock leno or a high twist. This is your standard uniform. Everyone owns this, I would presume. Every one of you watching this owns a navy blazer and a medium brown pair of trousers. But in the summer, of course, we're talking about congruence in terms of the fabric. Here is a high twist, here is a high twist. This is a fresco, this is a mock leno. So again, they speak entirely the same language, just as this paired well with the royal blue. This pairs exceedingly well, just pairs really well with the dark navy blazer. The reason why I haven't picked this is just, again, the contrast for me, it's a bit too sharp. It's just a bit too sharp. So I think that those pair of trousers, just because it's light, it goes with the royal blue far better than it does with the navy. Now, here is obviously something that is another classic. It's just another classic. Your gabardine, your off-white gabardine, cream gabardine with your navy blazer. Yes, the contrast is very sharp, but it is such a classic pairing that I don't think you can go wrong with this. So here we have this and this. Again, I would stay completely away from the linens. When it comes to your mock leno, I like to keep my wools with wools and sort of the linens with more sort of casual tops in terms of the fabric. This could be an interesting combination. I've seen it done, but it can look a little bit old manish. I know this is a combination that was very popular back in the 60s, maybe even 70s. With, let's say, cordovan loafers. This is just sort of a classic combination, but it's a bit dull to the eye, if you ask me, so very conservative. But if you're a conservative dresser, definitely this is something that could work. So for this navy blazer, as ubiquitous or as storied as it is, for my money, it pairs well with just these 3 pair of trousers. The mid-grade fresco, of course, the olive, and then we have the off-white gabardine. 3 pair of trousers. So strangely enough, it's not the most versatile when it comes to pairing our trousers, at least the trousers we have on here. So again, just at the top of my head, reviewing this seems to me, from a summer standpoint or from a summer perspective, this seems to me as like the most versatile. And the reason is the most versatile is not only because of the color, but the texture. The weave, it's a hopsack weave. So it marries both the woolens and it marries the linens and, well, the frescoes, which also are wools. But it takes both the wools and the linens very well. Whereas all the others being strictly wool jackets. It's a wool jacket, of course, but because of the weave, it's such a, it's a hopsack weave, so it's sort of a very, very crispy, open, and interesting cloth, which makes it more versatile in my view. It's more casual, it's more playful than all the others, which are all more dressy wools. So with that, that brings us to the end of the combination exercise. I'm going to push these back and hang the trousers back up. This has been an exciting exercise because it's given me quite a few ideas of what to do with my own clothes. So I have you, my audience, to thank for putting me through this mental rigor of pairing my own clothes. There we have it. And the last one, a beautiful Askoki sand or sand brown linen trousers right there. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope this has been useful. Those of you who watched the winning combination video, which we published, I believe, at some point earlier this year, found it very, very useful and valuable. But I remember that video was done exclusively with fall winter jackets because we were in the fall at the time, or we were in the winter at the time. And so we were pressed, we were prompted to use you know, your tweeds and cavalry tool trousers, flannels, and so on and so forth for that particular video. And we thought it would be useful to do the same video or sort of attempt to repeat that success by doing the same thing, but with a summer capsule wardrobe. And with that, we bring this episode or this segment of Askoki to an end. But before I leave, as always, I chide you, or I ask you to hit that subscribe button below, like, follow, comment. Ladies and gentlemen, please comment on the videos. This helps us immensely with the algorithm. So if you like the videos, if you have anything to say or share or questions for the professor, please, please don't be shy, don't be timid. Comment. We love your comments, and I always, unfailingly, without fail, respond to the comments within the hour or no more than 2 hours. So follow us on Instagram, Askoki IG. Again, we encourage you to comment on our posts on Instagram. I am always available to answer your questions within the hour or no more than 2 hours. So again, I encourage you to follow us on Instagram and to not only like, of course, our posts, our daily posts, but also comment on the posts. Last but not the least, please join our Discord community. You will see again the link below. in the description box. It's a community of like-minded people, user-generated content where you all can come together with the prof, of course, and discuss all the things that we learn here on the channel. And so with that, I thank you for joining us for this exciting segment, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you and goodbye.